Hello, dear teacher and classmates. My name is Diana Arroyo. This is my ID card. Okay, in this opportunity, I'm going to talk about cultures, dimensions, and intercultural competence. Keys to effective cross-cultural communication in EFL students. For the first part, I have the cross-cultural communication in EFL students, the cultural framework, identity and communication. Cultural identity and language cultural identity directly influences how we interpret the language, right? EFL students must understand that English is not neutral. It is loaded with the norms and values of native cultures. For example, here we have cross cultures. It means that occurs when people from different backgrounds interact with other people, making communication or susceptible to miscommunication due to cultural assumptions. Hall, 1976. On the other hand, here we have a Hertz Hosted dimensions. Hosted 1980 created a framework for quantifying cultural differences, helping us to better predict and understand behaviors in professional and educational context. Right? And then we will analyze five key dimensions for EFL interaction. For example, here we have five cultural dimensions such as part one. For example, power distance index. It means that measures the index to which the less powerful members of a society expect and accept an unequal distribution of power. For example, a clear hierarchical structure, for example, respecting for teacher or bosses, right? Um, in the second part, we have individualisms versus collectivisms. It focuses on whether personal identity is defined by the individual. For example, when I say I, or by the group say we, all group, right? In the third part, we have masculinity versus femininity. It describes how society distributes roles between genders, for example, masculine, competitiveness, ambition, assertiveness, success oriented culture, right? And then, such as part two, here we have cultural dimension. Number four is uncertainty avoidance. It means that it measures the degree to which member of a culture feel treated by uncertain or unknown situations. For example, need for strict rules or detailed planning and low risk or tolerance. At final, we have long term versus short term. It describes the degree to which a society values long term time and effort versus tradition and quick rewards. Okay, for example, here we have the persistence, saving, adapting traditions to change. And then we have intercultural competence, known as ICC. Definition and meaning. ICC is the ability to interact effectively with people from different cultural backgrounds. Byram 1997. Don't forget that it involves knowledge, attitudes, and skills. For example, it is important to take into account that we have a role in effective cross cultural communication. For example, ambiguity management. It reduces anxiety and frustration caused by unexpected differences or perspective shifts. It allows the communicator to not assume that their culture is the norm. I mean, um, ethnocentrism or message adaptations. It facilitates the adaptations of the message structure. For example, direct versus indirect to the listener's context, right? And then here we have the importance for the EFL students. Dimension knowledge um, hosted. It means that it helps to depersonalize the conflicts. If a student from a high PDA culture feels that they cannot ask questions, knowledge of the dimension explains that this is a cultural norm of the structure, not a personal reaction. Permit interpret the intentions behind the message. Um, Go beyond of the correct grammar. Okay, development of intercultural competence. The ICC moves students from being were speakers to becoming cultural mediators. This is a vital for avoiding miscommunication and achieving genuine communication competence. To take into account that mastery of grammar doesn't guarantee effective communication. In summary, learning a foreign language is inseparable from cultural learning. Hosted and ICC's tools are essential for cultural navigation. It is important. This part effective cross cultural communication requires a willingness to suspend judgment and see the world through the other person's lens. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video.